drive to right field. This ball is gone. Gone and into the history books.
The Seattle Mariners, Felix Hernandez, the 2-2. He got it! 34 years, 119 games. It's finally happened. A perfect game by a Seattle Mariner. It was done by the King.
And the 0-1 pitch on the way to Edgar Martinez. Swung on and line down the left field line for a base hit. Here comes Joy. Here is Junior to third base. They're going to wave him in. The throw to the plate will be late. The Mariners are going to play for the American League Championship. I don't believe it. It just continues. My, oh my. And they are going crazy at the Kingdom.
Welcome to The Corner of Edgar and Dave, Season 3, Episode 9. I am Jacob, here with my brother Nick, and I was informed before the podcast that apparently I'm a pod hog. So I'm going to let Nick say the first words here. I'm just going to do the intro. I'm going to let Nick start it off. What do you want to talk about, Nick?
So, first of all, I want to talk about how I definitely didn't fucking say that.
Oh, you didn't say it in so many words. It was insinuated that I was a pod hog. Basically, okay, not to hog the podcast. But basically what Nick said is that, I eat every time we podcast. And I was like, really? Aren't you worried about, like, it being caught on the mic or anything like that? Like, you're just going to munch on and just let that audio be picked up? And he's like, no, usually what I do is that I just, like, let you just, like, start talking, and I know it's going to go on for a while, so I'll just, like, mute myself and eat a little bit. And I'm like, so I'm a pod hog. See, here's the thing. That was the exact conversation. He didn't technically say I was a pod hog, but he basically said I was a pod hog. So,
okay,
and that's
sometimes you want to get a point across, so I just kind of like let you.
What's your favorite snack to eat while I'm talking about Mariners baseball?
So, I mean, you lived with me for 20 years. You know what all my snack food is. My favorite thing to eat, definitely cheese sticks. The struggle, though, is trying to get them open, because you know how loud they are. Like, so you're talking, and I'm like, shit, I gotta fucking mute my mic to get this cheese stick open. So otherwise you'd be hearing...
So when we're potting, you try and stay to the soft foods, the less loud foods?
Yeah,
you're not having chips or anything?
I'll be honest, there's maybe an episode or two where I'm munching on Cheetos, but...
I've never heard you... I don't know if the audio just doesn't pick it up or if you're just really great at muting yourself. I have never heard you eat on this podcast. Or maybe I've just been hogging the podcast so much that I just never noticed. That's obviously very possible.
Maybe, who knows?
Oh, all right. Well, it's currently June 2nd. Happy Lou Gehrig Day, Nick. It's kind of fun to turn on the Mariners game today and see that Major League Baseball is doing something cool to celebrate, one of its greatest all-time players.
Legends.
And best stories, so that's cool. What are we in? We're currently in the 5th inning here. We're officially potting mid-game. This isn't technically like a game cast, even though we could definitely do better than Blowers and Sims, although Goldsmith's on today, so tough to beat or whatever. But, we just decided we're losing 5-0. We just decided to say, screw it. It's time to podcast. We need to get this thing out here. We're about to finish up this second series against the A's in a week, and,
Not going as well as the first one, huh?
No, yeah. Kyle Lewis is dead. Mariners have officially been outscored. In the last, since the last time the Mariners scored, they've been outscored 11-0. Yeah, it was 4-2 in the 7th yesterday, right? Then the A's scored. No, they scored. Did they score 10 runs yesterday?
No, they scored 11 yesterday.
They scored 11 yesterday? Oh my god, so we're being outscored 14-0 currently.
No, it's not true. In the 8th of the 9th inning, the Mariners drove in 2. So
we're at
2-11 or something. Yeah, that was yesterday. Yeah.
I thought that they just played dead yesterday. I don't know. I was enjoying. I'm very happy. Gabby was able to find. So my favorite ice cream is fish food, the Ben and Jerry's flavor. I'm sure I've said this multiple times. But I've since moved away from dairy, and so I could never find a dairy-free fish food. Well, Ben and Jerry's is making a dairy-free fish food now, and so Gabby's been picking that up for me. So I was devouring some dairy-free fish food yesterday, and not paying loose attention to the Mariners.
What kind of dairy alternative ice cream are you eating? This is just frozen yogurt?
I don't know what it's made out of. I have frozen yogurt a lot. Like, we go to Menchie's all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But the Ben & Jerry's stuff, I don't know what it technically is.
Oh, I thought Ben & Jerry's was just ice cream.
Yeah, they have dairy-free options, though.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they have dairy-free. They're cool.
So, baseball. Like, what do you want to talk about the Mariners first? You want to talk about the offense? You want to talk about defense? You want to talk about
Dude,
pitching?
we just got to get into it. What was the best thing we saw? We got to start where we always start. The best thing we saw and the worst thing we saw.
My best thing I saw might be a little niche, but so Taylor Trammel's first game back. Welcome back, Taylor Trammel, by the way.
Yep.
He absolutely slammed a fucking ball to right field.
Yeah, what was that, like 430 feet or something?
Something kind of incredible, and it really caught me off guard. Honestly, this whole year has really caught me off guard with Taylor Trammel, because from what I understood about him, and maybe this is just like me stupid misconception, is that he's like a speedster, like contact boy.
Uh-huh.
But no, he's like a power bat. Like this dude is built like fucking Barry Bonds. Now he's just gotta fill out the resume, right?
I thought he was supposed to be the kind of guy that hit for average, but he is seriously bringing the power this year. I don't know. And not that, obviously, we've talked about to length how much MLB The Show messes up the Mariners roster, but that's also how they have Taylor Trammel, right? They have him as more of a contact hitter, speedster guy, and less of a power threat, So maybe to me that says that's what the perception was. Maybe no one knew what kind of power he was bringing, but I'm psyched to see.
Absolutely fucking jacked over coronavirus.
Yeah, was that it? He just went. Went down.
It's had 16 months to just hit the gym 3 times or 4 or 5 times a week. But
he was doing this at AAA as well. So it's he couldn't hit anything his first stint at the major league level, right? He went down to AAA. He was hitting 3-something with a few home runs. He was down at AAA for 2 weeks, and he basically dominated the Pacific Coast League.
Yeah, it was hitting 400 to 450.
Was it that high? I thought he was in the 350s. Dang, dude.
Oh, you know what? It was 380 for the first week, and then he cooled off a little bit, but was still hitting 350s.
Okay.
He was actually minor league player of the week for 2 weeks in a row, right when he got sent down.
Yeah, I saw that. Oh, look at Taylor. Look, speaking of Taylor Trammel, he's up to bat right now. What do you think's going to happen, Nick? What's your call on this at bat? Home run again? Another jack? Right center?
Sure, why not?
We need it. It's 5-0. Oh! He didn't get into it enough.
Pretty good line drive there, though.
Oh my god, dude. I make fun. I shouldn't have done that because I make fun of fans so much every time the Mariners. And here's the thing. I don't blame a fan if they do it when
they make contact. They're home run!
Yes, every time. I remember in particular, I feel like it was when we had that away series in San Diego, and who else was it? What another? It was the Boston series, I think. I was aren't the Boston fans supposed to be the best fans in baseball? Some of the best fans. Literally every time a Red Sox player made contact with the baseball, they thought it was a home run. And I make fun of opposing fans so often for doing that I kind of just caught myself doing it. I don't blame you as much if you do it on TV because it's really hard to tell how well the ball's hit. Yeah. But if you're in the stadium and if you're popping off. No, if you're popping off, if you're in the stadium watching the game and you pop off for a routine foul ball, you just need to you just need to chill, right? You just need to be okay, act like you've been here before, right? It's a freaking you should know the difference. Most people, this is not supposed to be a gatekeeping thing or anything, right? But most baseball fans, I would think, should know the difference when they're at a stadium of a ball that's a routine fly ball and a warning track shot, right? I'm not going to give anyone crap for popping off on a warning track missile. But if it's a routine fly ball to right field where Mitch Hanigar only has to move 6 feet, I'm kind of I thought you guys were supposed to be legit the best baseball fans in the world.
It's the crack of the bat though. It just sounds good. Sometimes some dude will just hit a line he tees off a perfect man. And the show like fucking soundometer or whatever the fuck they use is like crack, and it just happens to go to like a middle outfielder. Like I don't know how it happens, man.
So you're just here for the crack, huh?
I do like the crack. I'll be honest. I enjoy the crack.
Oh, look at it. A little Jack Mayfield. Little single up the middle. Love that.
Yeah,
Runners on first and second.
That's no crack right there, but pretty good.
I mean, are we looking, who's on second base? Are these Mariners legends, Nottingham and Mayfield on first and second base here?
Something like that. Dude,
What?
I don't know what you think about this, but like the Mariners have like an amazing surplus of like kind of mediocre minor league middle infielders.
They do. And they trade for him. Like wasn't Jack Mayfield like with the Angels at the beginning of the season?
Something like that. Well,
you're right. Like they just have a million. What they have is a million. What's his name? Sam Haggerty clones. It's like they took Sam Haggerty as soon as he came over to the Mariners. They like pulled out a swath of hair and were like, okay, go make some clones. Have you seen?
They haven't perfected it yet because obviously Sam Haggerty's a switch hitter, and they're trying to find more switch hitters like Sam Haggerty, and they're just getting fucking righty and lefties.
Have you seen Invincible?
I don't think so.
Oh, dude, you have to watch Invincible. I guess I can't use this reference now, but there's a cloning aspect to it. And
dude, sorry to cut you off, but you just reminded me talking about movies that I just watched Tenet, and you love Tenet, and you
I
like,
love
telling
Tenet.
me to watch Tenet.
Yeah,
Like I've seen it like 15 times. This movie's fucking amazing.
yeah.
And I watched it. I've only seen it one time so far. But like I think it's fucking amazing. Like
It's so cool. It's just so cool. I can't really get into Tenet because like we're gonna get hate now because we're a pro Tenet podcast, so we're officially on the fringe of society. But
anti-Tenet? Okay,
yes,
so
people do not like Tenet.
So I talk about movies with my work buddies all the time, and like the one or two times I've brung up Tenet, people are like, "Ugh, why do you want to watch that?" I was like pretty hyped for it to come out originally, and I was like, "Man, I'm so mad that we missed seeing Tenet in theaters. Like I'm so mad like COVID happened and we didn't get to see Tenet, and everyone was like, ugh, Tenet? What?" And I'm like, whoa, dude, that movie is like pretty fucking fire. Like, what do you mean you don't like it?
I love Tenet. I mean, I'm just like I have an irrational love of Tenet. So
yeah, it's really good.
I'm not the best. Like, I'm not the most level-headed person to defend Tenet, but like I love Tenet.
I do really.
It gets a lot of hate though. People, I get why people dislike it because it's so much like style over substance. It's a style over substance movie. And it's a movie that definitely thinks it's smarter than it actually is, but in the end, it's just a badass spy movie.
Yeah. No,
It's just
I
like
agree.
Christopher Nolan just wanted to make a Christopher Nolan-esque James Bond, and he went and he did it perfectly. That's just my opinion, man.
Yeah. Dude, it's super sick. I don't know. I just really liked it a lot. I really liked how they kind of left it open for a sequel because they're like, dude, you've been doing this for years. Like, this is the first time. Oh, I guess I shouldn't ruin it.
No, dude. If you haven't watched it by now, like, no, it's been out long enough. It's been out long enough. You can spoil it.
For the fringe people that haven't seen Tenet and are also listening to this podcast, we're gonna spoil it.
Yeah, I'm not even saying.
So
if you haven't watched it by now, you're not going to watch it. That's the thing. If you haven't, if literally.
And what is his name? I don't remember his name. The new Batman.
Robert Pattinson.
Neil. Yes, Robert Pattinson. So Neil's like, dude, I've known you for years. Like, this is the first time you've met me, but I've met you now for like 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
Like, I've always known you. And he's like, dude, I've always known I was going to die. Like, as soon as you officially met me for the first time, I knew since that moment that this is how things were going to end between us. And I'm like, oh, it's so sick. That is such a cool, like, way to end things.
Yeah. I just love you texting me, or you sent me a message on Discord. You were like, holy shit, is Neil supposed to be the son? I was like, oh my god, Nick's in. That's the moment I knew you were in. I didn't know how your reaction was going to be, but the moment when you sent me that message, I was like,
oh, I loved it.
Nick's in, let's go. Nick's in on the Tenet train.
It wasn't one of those obvious things. It was one of the things you really had to, like, almost look into, because like they're taught. So he's talking about how he's always known him, and then he immediately like the scene switches to him like walking or like watching the mom and the kid hang out, and I'm like, wait, we never learned that kid's name?
No, we learned it.
Neil?
No, it's Maximilian.
Wait, Maximilian?
Yes, but the last 4 letters of Maximilian reversed is Neil.
Or Neil. Ooh. And Neil's like his spy name. Oh. Dude, you just added so much more to that.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah, the kid's name is Maximilian. They call him. His mom calls him Max.
That's super sick. And there's so many moments like the airport scene where he was like fighting himself. So I'll be honest with you, I had to stop watching the movie like an hour into it. So I was dog sitting for mom and dad. And while I was there, I was like, oh my god, I should watch Tenet because I'm here and they have this big, nice TV. So I started it, got like an hour and a half into it. Dad came home, and I was like, okay, I need to go home and get ready for work. So I had to pause it, and then I had to come back the next day when I was also dog sitting for them the next day, and I finished it. And I was, after I got like halfway through it, I turned it off, and it just got to the point where the main dude walked into the I don't even know what they call it, the time machine thing, like reversed himself.
Yeah.
For the first time, and it like hit me. I was like, he was gonna be fighting himself or someone else in the airport. I actually thought it was gonna be Neil, and I thought Neil died. And I was like, oh my god, he just killed Neil.
Yeah, except for he fought Neil and himself.
Yeah.
Because going backwards through time, he first fights himself backwards through the fight, and then he has to run away from Neil once he goes through the time thing. The time
and
turner.
Neil knew the whole time. Neil knew the whole time. And he's like, dude, don't kill him. Like, that's you.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so sick.
Yeah, it's freaking dope.
You get towards the end of the movie, and then everything that didn't make sense or was like kind of sketchy in like the first half or like the first like 2 acts of the movie, you're like,
dude, I'm gonna tell you the best watch throughs. If you decide to get to this, the best watch throughs of Tenet are watch throughs 3 through 5. Once you fully. Well, part of it is that like the first couple times, like maybe the first time through like maybe the third time you watch it, like you still don't get how the time stuff works, right? Like you get that he's like going backwards through time, but you don't like really get it. Once you like fully understand it and you're like watching the scene and you understand why he's doing everything, you know, go like moving through time reversed, then it's like, okay, this is just like, this makes so much sense. And like once you can watch the scenes like completely understanding what's happening on like an individual second by second basis, then it just is so freaking good.
The only thing that really went over my head, I gotta say, is so you know at the end they're in like the cave or whatever, and there's the dead dude on the floor, and he pans over, and he's wearing Neil's backpack.
Yeah.
So is that dead Neil right there?
Yes.
So did Neil, after they had already finished everything, he had to go back in time and make sure that he died right there so that he could open the door?
Yeah, so what's happening is that after they say their goodbyes at the end of the movie, he goes back into the turnstile to reverse time, and he works his way back down the tunnel after it's already been cleared. Because there's a whole issue of, like, the tunnel has to be cleared, too, because remember, he, like, blew up the entrance to it?
Yeah.
He has to make his way through with the tunnel being cleared, and he has to essentially go and... Moving forward in time, it appears that he opens the door and leaves, but he's actually going back and he's closing the door. He's closing the door and then being shot. Yeah. So he goes down the tunnel, he closes the door and is immediately shot. Then going
by the guy who was already in there.
Yes.
Okay.
But who's trying to shoot? Yes, and he didn't know he's reversed. He's actually being shot by the guy that's trying to shoot the protagonist, right?
Right, and that's how he saves him. So he saves the protagonist by eating the bullet because he's reversed.
It's just like a weird timing thing. So like going forward in time, what's happening is he goes from being a dead person to alive, and then opening the cell door because he's closing it in reverse time.
Yeah, and then he looks over and sees the backpack, and he's like, "Dude, that's Neil's backpack. That's not Neil." Like I'm talking to Neil on the phone.
Yeah.
And then like they're outside the choppers and they're dude, all of those scenes are so sick. I love that movie.
I don't know if that's an error by JP, but that's not great.
Yeah.
That's not Gold Glove
He's not
worthy.
happy about it.
All right, well, I hope you all have enjoyed our Tenet podcast. We'll be back next week to discuss more Tenet. Any news, all the upcoming news on Tenet 2 through 11 that we're going to be pushing for and we're going to be making ourselves. Because Christopher Nolan's probably not going to make it. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I thought it was awesome. I get why people don't like it because it's one of those, I get the argument that, your movie shouldn't require 5 watch-throughs.
Yeah.
To be fully understood. I get that. I get that argument.
Just, not to be I'm super fucking smart or anything, but I've only watched it one time, and I think I've got a pretty good understanding of everything.
Yeah. Well, that's just because you're a smarty pants.
I mean, I didn't want to toot my own horn here.
Dude, we have barely gotten to this podcast. We've barely just talked about anything Mariners. Okay, so the best thing you saw was Taylor Trammell's home run. I'm going to go with from the same game. The best thing I saw... No, it wasn't the same game. It was the next game. The best thing I saw was the fact that Marco Gonzalez is back, and he looked really freaking good.
Yeah.
A season high in strikeouts. 6 strikeouts in 4 innings. In a rehab start. I think they kind of barely mentioned this on the broadcast yesterday. I think they just mentioned it in passing. Marco didn't have any real rehab starts.
Yeah.
This was essentially a rehab start for him against the number 1 team in our division, and he wrecked them for... he only did the Marco thing. He did the thing where he gives up 1 solo home run. That's his thing, right? He gives up solo home runs every game. That's Marco's thing. He gave up 1 solo home run, but other than that, he struck out the best team in our division 6 times in 4 innings.
Have you noticed that whenever Marco gives up his home run, he the same face every time?
No, what face does he make?
It's kind of like a dumbfounded did I put that ball there?
No, I didn't. I didn't notice that. That's awesome. I'm gonna look for that next time because he's definitely gonna be giving up some solo home runs in the future. That's just his thing. I don't know how it's not, but his home run stat on MLB The Show should be 5.
Yeah.
All he does is give up solo home runs. Not with runners on base, though. His home run stat with runners on base is 95, but with no runners on base, it's 5.
But speaking of Marco in the show, is he super fucking lights out for you?
Yeah, he's awesome. I'm so good.
Lights out for
him and Pax, I'm bonkers good with.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. And Sheffield, I'm really good with Sheffield too.
Oh, dude. I mean, I don't pitch a lot, but my AI sim Sheffield, dude, knock it lower than a 6 ERA.
Really? That's my thing is I'm terrible
me.
at batting, but I'm so good at pitching. I'm gonna have to bump my pitching up to the maximum level because I'm tearing people up.
I couldn't do that. It's just so frustrating. I hate pitching.
I don't know. I can't remember what the name is. I'm at the 2nd highest difficulty, and I have the best ERA in base. I have like a 2.2 ERA.
Is it Hall of Fame?
I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I think is it Hall of Fame? I can't remember exactly what it's called, but yeah, I'm gonna have to bump that up to Superstar or whatever it's called.
Oh yeah, Veteran All-Star Superstar Hall of Fame. I think you're at Superstar.
Legend, or is it Legend?
Oh, Legend.
I don't know.
Hall
of Fame, then Legend, maybe.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't care that much to try to be that good with you.
Dude, Mitch almost beat that out. Dang. Yeah, so that was the best thing I saw. Worst thing I saw?
What's the worst thing you saw?
I'm trying to think. It definitely could have been yesterday.
Oh, I know what the worst thing I saw was.
The bullpen totally imploded yesterday. It could have been seeing Kyle Lewis go down.
Yeah, that's mine. Dude, literally, like I said to you, Kyle wakes up in the morning and breaks both his arms. And then right before he gets into bed, he breaks both his legs. And then he gets up and does it the next day as well. Dude, come on, you've played 20 games. And this injury, he's about to be out for 2 or 3 months. Fuck. Is this our version of who's the center fielder for the Twins? What's his name? Byron Buxton. Is this
Yeah.
our version of Byron Buxton? Like, he's just like an incredible fucking athlete, but like he's made of fucking paper.
I just feel like you might be too harsh.
Dude, come on! Don't even tell me that.
I think the actual worst thing I saw this week, so those are both two good candidates. The actual worst thing I saw this week was when I got to work. I think it was last Wednesday. We beat the A's the night before. We were up 2-0 in the series, and I think it was a day game. And I turned the game on. I'm at work. I turn the game on my screen, and I see that our starting pitcher is Robert Duggar. And I was like, fuck. I was like, literally, we have the chance to sweep the best team in our division, and we have to go with a bullpen game. I was like, oh, fade me now. Like, make it stop.
Fuck, dude. It's literally like they're at this point with this part of at this part of the season, it feels like they're fucking like Astros fucking tanking for draft picks. Because like, so we literally have a chance to fucking like win the fucking series against the fucking yesterday we had a chance to go 2-0 against the Oakland Athletics.
Yeah.
And they throw in all the bad bullpen arms. Like, what are we doing here?
I didn't even get. You know what I didn't get? I didn't get why Santiago pitched so many innings yesterday. Like, why was it? Why did he need to pitch 3 innings?
I don't know. And but even after 2, he didn't look good. Like in 2, he gave up 5.
I thought he was fine. He just looked. Buddy. He just looked like a number 5 starting pitcher, right? He just looked like a below league average starting pitcher.
You know what?
But it was
the other day?
After 2 innings, I was like, okay. He's gone through 2 innings. He's only given up 1 run. Like, this is fine. And then he goes out for the 7th inning, and I'm like, but why? We have such a good bullpen. You know, technically this year we've had a good bullpen, right? I was like, do we not have a 7th, 8th, and 9th guy to shut this down?
I don't know.
Like, what the heck?
Dude, you heard about Graveman, right?
What specifically?
So, Kendall Graveman is currently on the IL for COVID procedure, right?
Yeah, yes.
And his fucking wife is, super anti-vaxxer, and apparently Kendall Graveman is also super anti-vaxxer. And so now I just want them to fucking trade him or release him. Like, I don't care about Kendall Graveman anymore.
Doesn't he have cancer? Am I wrong?
Right. Bro, dude, you literally have, some fucking cancer in your neck.
I
assume, are you an anti-vaxxer?
I assume that makes him susceptible. Like, he's an at-risk person when it comes to COVID, then, right? Because he has. I don't know for sure, but I would assume that of the people who are at risk for actually dying from COVID,
he's up there the most.
People with cancer would be one of them.
And considered active players, he's got to be one of the most at risk of fucking being in danger from COVID.
Yeah, that's what I told you. I told you my friend who's a big A's fan said that he is kind of a shitter.
Yeah, I see it now. Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. Fuck his wife.
Oh, it's just one of those things, you know. Despite all that, we kind of wish we had him right now, but of course, because of certain opinions.
Nah, dude, fuck that. It's literally like the fucking the Astros closer last year. What's his name?
Ozuna.
Do you really want that guy on your team? Like, even if he's one of the best.
Kendall Graveman's not beating his wife, so I don't know if it's exactly a fair comparison.
No, it's not a fair comparison. Obviously, that's worse than being an anti-vaxxer. But still, dude, don't be you're a fucking professional athlete. Don't make your weird fucking niche opinions and shit, or weird niche actions. Don't make them public, and don't fucking beat your wife.
I don't have a problem with him I don't necessarily have a problem with him making it public, but it's just why risk your career for it, right? That's the thing I don't get is maybe I don't know. I guess to me, I don't have an opinion strong enough that I would be willing to risk my career right now, right? Maybe that makes me sad and pathetic, but the reality is that the thing I value, one of the biggest things I value right now is the ability to put food on the table for my family and the roof over our heads, and I actually really enjoy my job. I get a lot of personal value out of doing my having my career, so it's I wouldn't want to risk that stuff.
I don't mean to make a huge political stand on it, right? I don't want to fucking just, but like, for all the anti-vax people, especially like the more famous ones, like, is this really the hill you want to die on? This is the hill. Out of all the hills you can choose to die on, this is the one you want to die on.
Yeah.
Not like the bring back Dave Bautista for Disney and fucking whatever that fucking movie's called. But you want to die on the anti-vax hill? Like, really? Just fucking, I don't know, pisses me off. Annoys me. And it has to be Mariners players too. After this terrible fucking PR fucking off season we had, and now the fucking Mariners bullpen is just full of anti-vaxxers. Like, oh, come on.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's rough. So okay. So that's the best and worst things we saw. Got to get into the news. First, I guess we can go through the results from this like last week and a half. As we kind of mentioned, 2-1 against the A's, had a chance to sweep them. We then came home and swept. No, yeah, we were at home. We came home and swept the Rangers 4-0.
4 games. Yep.
And then we started with another series against the A's. Won the first game. Was leading in the second. Lost that game. Currently, we're losing 5-0 in the third game on this beautiful Wednesday, June the 2nd.
Hot Wednesday.
Is it hot for you guys?
Unbearably hot. It's literally like, I know this is like chicken shit for you, but it's like 88 here, and I'm just dying.
Yeah, we've officially hit the part of the year where it's just 100 every day. I'm cool with it.
It's terrible. I hate it.
I'm cool with it.
We don't have AC. My house doesn't have AC, so like.
Oh, dude, that's brutal.
It gets like 75 degrees, and I'm like just in my room sweating. Like there's no escape.
Dude, that's brutal.
Yeah.
Oh, no AC. Dude, rest in pieces.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Okay, yeah. Transactions. So, obviously, another rough week for us with the IL. We saw Kyle Lewis went to the 10-day IL. If I had to guess, he's probably going to end up on the 60-day IL.
Yep.
Justin Dunn, 10-day IL. Eric Swanson, 10-day IL. Will Vest, 10-day IL. Sam Haggerty, 10-day IL.
I didn't even know Sam Haggerty got hurt. How did he get hurt?
I don't remember the specifics, but he's on the IL, which is I think why. Who was it got that brought up? I think it was Donovan Walton that got brought up for that, or was it Jack Mayfield? One of the two. One of the middle infielder clones.
Yeah, I mean, but Donnie's pretty good. I like Donnie.
Donnie, dude. Shout-outs. Yeah, shout-outs to Donovan getting his first major league home run. A big
fucking nuke,
a big 3-run jack to right field, getting it over that wall out there. Pretty dope.
Yep.
I hope he got that baseball back. They made a big deal about Kalanick getting his back. I hope they got freaking Donnie Walton's back.
About that too is that like Donovan Walton hit that thing. He nuked that ball. Like he hit that thing high. He hit that thing really far. He maybe got helped by the wind a little bit, but like he's short. Like he's literally like 5'9" at the most.
That's true.
And be able to get that kind of lift is like kind of nuts.
Yeah, I mean he's a guy that's just not going to hit a lot of home runs in his career, so it's cool to see a big jack there.
Yep.
However,
and in a pretty big spot too, 3-run.
Yeah, it was a 3-run homer. Yeah, it's huge. Brought up by the Mariners, or actually activated. We'll just go with activated for all these guys. Ty France, activated, already kicking some butt back with the Mariners. Taylor Trammel, activated, already kicking some butt with the Mariners. Jake Fraley, I am very positive. I don't know if I was at the beginning of the year, but Jake Fraley has been killing it for me in MLB The Show, so I'm a huge Jake Fraley guy now. So Jake Fraley, excited to see him back. He's out in left field today. And then obviously my boy Marco Gonzalez is back. So a big boost, I would say, to the Mariners, getting a lot of these guys back. Like obviously it sucks to lose everyone we lost, but we got
some
big guys
Jake
back.
Fraley stats.
Yeah.
So two incredible Jake Fraley stats that just make absolutely no fucking sense, right? So if you were gonna guess, what do you think Jake Fraley's average would be?
240.
176.
Oh shit.
If you're gonna make a guess based off what you know about his average, what do you think his OPS is?
Oh, OPS 444.
842.
Oh dang.
Dude, you can't get this guy out every time he goes to play. He's already got 2 walks tonight. He's literally the walk king.
Does he? Let me look at this stat.
This dude is gonna make fucking mad fucking paychecks someday.
Yeah,
just fucking walking down to
176, 842 OPS, 2 walks.
Jesus.
He doesn't have an at bat today. He just has 2 walks.
He's just, I don't know what it is. Like, dude, this guy sees fucking beach balls out there. He just can't hit them.
He must get doubles whenever he does get hits because that OPS. What is his on base percentage? That's what I want to know now.
No, it's crazy high. His on base is like 450 or like 460.
So he's like 300 points higher than his batting average with his on base.
Yeah. Dude, he's doubled his hits in walks. He's literally at like 12 hits and like 24 walks.
Wait, let's see this. His on base percentage. Crazy. His on base percentage is .517. He has he's batting 176. He has a positive WAR. He has 3 hits this season.
Insane.
Wait a second.
Dude,
he has 3 hits and he has 11 walks.
Dude, fuck Demo. I stand Jake Fraley now.
You're here for the Fraley.
I'm here for the Fraley. And he's got really nice hair. Dude, oh my god.
Great hair. Honestly, the thing that's most shocking to me about Jake Fraley, you would not guess, looking at Jake Fraley, that he's an absolute lightning rod speedster. He just looks like a burly mountain man that, he looks like more like Bucky Jacobson than D. Gordon, but the dude is lightning fast.
I mean, low-key, like, Jake Fraley, like, kind of is a potential 5-tool player. Like, he's kind of jacked. He's super fast. His defense is pretty good. And apparently he, like, is the walk king.
He has 0 career home runs.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's only 25. Like, give him a couple more years. He'll figure that power numbers out.
He's technically 26, but...
Well, yeah, I don't care.
He's 26 years old. He's 26 years old in 8 days.
Now, 27-year-old breakout career season, Jake Fraley. It's 30 home runs.
Oh, shit.
Walks 150 times. Has an on-base percentage of .550. Calling it right now.
Wow. I'm excited for that. Dang.
Me too.
Let's know. He literally only has 99 plate appearances in his career, so.
Yeah. I mean,
he needs more
another
time.
Dude who's, like, kind of made a paper.
Yeah, that's true. I guess, yeah, so...
That's why I'm so mad about it. And that's why I'm so mad about Lewis, because, like, I feel like I'm super excited to see these good outfielders that we're always talking about with the Mariners organization. And then they get here, and they just fucking fall apart. Like, Mitch fell apart. Like, Mitch has been down for, like, a year and a half. And then, now that Mitch is back, Kyle and Jake Fraley, like, can't figure out how they're fucking, like, their body's safe.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I'm just not... I don't know what to say in that area, just because, like...
They just need to wrap those walls in bubble wrap, man.
I don't know. It looks like... I didn't even realize, so, Jared Kelenick's not in the lineup today.
He's not. He got a day off.
Interesting.
I was actually really concerned about it, so I saw that he was in the lineup, and I was like, oh, fuck, did he get sent down? Like, this dude's hitting, like, 125.
Yes, he can't hit anything.
But...
it's not funny. It would be... It would be
funny if this dude wasn't the future of our organization.
Exactly. No, it actually would be more sad if, like, it just wasn't the Mariners' way.
Yeah.
Like, here's the batting average for our number 5 hitters to our number 9 hitters. 176, 167, 159, 143, 176. Like...
Jesus.
Have
you seen Seager lately? The dude literally, it's literally like Seager has never faced anyone who's ever thrown him a curveball, a slider, or a changeup. Literally, it's like he's never seen one ever before in his entire life. Dude just can't. He just can't hit anything with movement on it. It's pressing.
Yeah, this is pretty rough. Oh god.
So Kyle Seager is kind of a guy who you don't see a lot of emotion when he plays. It feels like he just like gets a hit, he like lines out, and he's like, whatever.
Yep.
But like lately, he's been like slamming his bat and like throwing shit around. It's kind of funny, dude. He's getting
his batting average is down to like 220. He's trying to get himself on a contender. Like he's thinking probably 2 weeks ago, he's thinking like, oh, I'm gonna be a New York Met and I'm gonna be in the World Series.
Yeah.
And now it's like no one wants me.
Now I'm gonna be fucking on the fucking free agent list next year, fucking playing third base in the Dominican Republic League or fucking Korea or some shit.
That's okay, Kyle. It's okay, Kyle. I still want you. I love you.
It's
Kyle.
okay, Kyle. We'll hire your brother, and you'll get like a fucking another year with us.
Jake Fraley's OPS is only 20 points behind Mitch Hanigar's.
Pretty crazy. Crazy.
Dang, Jack Mayfield's OPS is 351.
Have you? Speaking of Mitch Hanigar and his crazy OPS, have you been hearing about people like saying whether or not they think he should be traded this year?
Yeah, so that's the big talk, right? If we just want to get into it, huh? That's the word. Is like, is Mitch Hanigar going to be traded? Like that's the thing, you know.
What do you? So I'm gonna ask you two questions. We're gonna start with, what do you think about this topic? And do you think he should be traded? Is my second question. So first of all, what do you think about it?
I think it's not surprising, because he's one of those guys that we don't have like a lot of remaining control over. Like we have some, but we don't have a lot, right?
So he has one more year of operation, and then he will hit free agent. So he'll be a free agent in 2023.
So his highest trade value is going to be, his highest remaining trade value is going to be the week before
the deadline this year.
The deadline this year, yeah. Because any team that trades for him knows that they're going to get at least one more year of Mitch Hanigar too.
Yeah, so one more year with the window, right?
So I get it in that sense of like, if he's gone, it makes sense for the Mariners to trade him to get some value because he's not going to be fitting into any championship window if he's going to be leaving after next year, right? Because based on the way this year's going, it does not seem that our window is opening up next year unless everyone on the team turns it around.
Well, I mean, it's hard to say because, like, you look at this roster and it's literally every week 5 people get hurt, and we're still playing 500 baseball. So, are you sure we're not like getting close to this Mariners playoff window? Like we're playing 500 baseball with our B guys.
Yes, but we're playing 500 baseball, and we're one of the worst hitting teams in the major leagues. So it's like, our bread and butter is supposed to be like this lineup that we're developing. That's supposed to be the whole thing. It wasn't even about, like, the story of the Mariners isn't about, like, oh, look at all the pitching talent we're developing. It's, look at all this batting talent we're developing. Well, we're the worst in baseball.
That's not necessarily true. You look at how the Mariners are going about their rebuild. I don't know if you've really paid attention, but the last 4 years in a row, we've first and second round picked starting pitchers in all 4 drafts.
Right. So, and we're getting college guys, but I'm just saying, like, obviously there are obviously some good arms, and I'm not saying like there's no good arms in the Mariners system, but like, as much as you want to, say that the bullpen has like had their time to shine, the only reason that we're a 500 baseball club is because our bullpen has been one of the best in baseball so far this season.
Yeah.
It has not been our lineup. Our starting pitching has been good, right? Especially having to fill in holes for so many injuries, whether it's Marco being injured, whether, losing Paxton for the year, or losing
rough call.
Losing Justin Dunn now. I mean, the reality is that it does help that we have been buoyed by one of the best, and we haven't even really given him the credit he deserves. He's going to be my MVP this week, because we're kind of, just doing things a little lackadaisical and crazy in this podcast. But my MVP this week is Yusei Kikuchi, because we have not given him enough shine. And he's honestly been one of the best pitchers in the American League.
Yeah,
that's this year so far.
Bad. You love Yusei, and I've kind of gone either way on him, right? But
I mean, you've definitely shot down a lot of Yusei talk.
Yeah, no, that's true.
You're not interested. You're not interested. It's cool.
This year specifically, I just haven't seen him pitch. Like, I feel like the days that I don't get to watch are when he pitches. Like, every 6 days I just don't get to watch or something.
So kind of what Marco has been for the Mariners the last couple of years. He's kind of like the unsung Yeah, Yusei has been kind of like the unsung, under-the-radar pitcher in the American League, just like Marco has been the last 2 years. Marco hasn't got to do it so far because he started off terrible and then hit the disabled list, right, for a little bit, or the injured list. But Yusei has been that. Yusei is completely underrated, has been really lights out for us, this season, honestly. Like, ERA 3.88, which isn't like, that's fine, but he's eating up innings. He's pitched 62 innings in his 10 starts.
But to your point, a 3.88 ERA is what Marco did in 2019, and we kind of thought he was incredible for it.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah, I shouldn't ignore that. I mean, his WHIP is at 1.04, and then this is the number that I'm most impressed by. The batting average against him, 198.
Yeah.
Like, Yusei has been secretly really good this year. And so between his consistency every 6 days and the bullpen being absolutely lights out, like they've had some stinkers, right? Especially during our big skid, they had some stinkers, and then obviously like last night, fresh in our mind, they had some stinkers, but our bullpen overall has been really great. It was really great against Texas. It was good, down in Oakland. So it has not been our hitting. It has. That's basically what I'm trying to get at. Is like everyone's talking about this lineup that Jerry Dipoto is trying to develop, and the reality is that it doesn't work. It has not been our hitting. Let's see. Where are we? We're officially we're last place in Major League Baseball in OPS. We are last place. We're last place in average.
Yep.
We are last place
by like 20 points.
Yeah, we're last place in average by 5 points.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Milwaukee Brewers are 211. The Brewers are 211. We're at 206. We're last place. Yeah, we're last place in on base percentage. The only thing that's been good for the Mariners is that, and maybe this has fallen. I can't find us. Where the heck are we? We are. Shoot! I had this number. We were better, but at one point we were like 13th in runs. We've fallen down to 23rd in runs. So, like, even though we've been hitting bad, we've been getting RBIs and, like, runs at the right time. That's obviously started to fall off, too. It started to be more consistent with our poor hitting. We are 21st in RBIs. So, like, those numbers are obviously better than being last place. But, like, we are a bottom. Any way you cut it, we're probably the worst batting team in baseball, but we're at least bottom 5. So I do not see next year, because of that, I don't see next year being the playoff.
I don't know. I
window.
mean, like, obviously you can't just take one. You can't take one free agent class and just like call it a fucking World Series win, right? But the next draft class or the next free agent class is one of the best offensive free agent classes we've seen in a long time.
Are we gonna get any of them?
I mean, maybe. Like, you don't think the Mariners are going to take a shot at, like, Corey Seager or Chris Bryant?
I think they'll take a shot at him, but Jerry Dipoto hasn't been able to bring in one decent free agent in his entire time.
Okay, but do you think they really offered, like, Marcell Ozuna $20 million? Or do you think they offered Colton Wong $50 million, like, for 4 years? No.
I don't know what they're going to offer, but I'm just saying, like, Jerry Dipoto's been at the helm of this thing for, like, 6 years, and he hasn't brought in a single big free agent.
That's true.
Right?
That's true. Yeah, it's concerning. I was actually really hoping
literally the best free agent he's brought in is James Paxton.
Oh, no. I mean, yes, and then he got injured, but you also got to remember, like, Ken Giles. That's a really good pickup.
I mean...
Sort of.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say that's a really good pickup when we're not going to see him in a Mariners uniform until next year. Like,
yeah. Nah, dude. You're right. I was really hoping we'd bring in like either Marcell, which bad take if you've been watching the news lately, or like maybe like David Dahl or someone.
I just wish the thing to me is it's not necessarily I wish they had like brought him in. But, like, it appeared that there was virtually no interest in any free agent of even like considering the Mariners.
Yeah, our names weren't even on the rumors.
And like if we want to
picked up Paxton and Giles.
If we want to be the Padres, like the Padres went and added Eric Hosmer,
Manny
5 years ago, right? They added Manny Machado like 3 years ago. They went and got these guys before they were ready. And we've talked about this a lot. And I think I've even talked about this with Dad a lot, that this team just has no veteran presence, really.
Yes.
And the thing is that the veterans that it has on the team are not the outspoken leader type veterans.
Right.
Like,
I mean, Kyle veterans are Mitch Hanigar and Kyle Seager.
Yeah,
what?
Mitch Hanigar and Kyle Seager are not the type of guys to like rally the troops. Really, the only kind of veteran they have like that's a rally the troops kind of guy is Marco. But that's on the pitching side, right? We need we need a stalwart in this lineup to kind of anchor ourselves, and we just don't have that.
Sorry. I'm like trying to talk over you. My bad. But
no, you're good.
So it's hard to like call someone in arbitration a veteran. Like is Mitch Hanigar and Marco Gonzalez even a fucking veteran? Like those dudes have only been around for 4 or 5 years.
I mean, they're veterans.
Not that long.
They're veterans by the Mariners standards, by 2021 Mariners standards.
They're only veterans by proxy. They're not even like real veterans. Like literally, the only guy in free agency on the fucking team is Kyle Seager, and what is he supposed to fucking be, the fucking locker room helping hand guy for all 26 people on the fucking roster?
Yeah.
No, that's not gonna happen.
But even if we like look back at other Mariners teams that were kind of like young or developing, they had, and I'm not even talking about like Robinson Cano or Nelson Cruz. There was like veterans on the team that could take up some space. Like the one guy that pops into my head,
10 years, right?
The one guy that pops into my head is like Seth Smith. I don't know if you remember Seth Smith. He was like a good professional batter in the lineup that was kind of a platoon guy, wasn't necessarily an everyday guy, but he was like a strong veteran presence that I think some of the younger guys could kind of like wrap themselves around and be like, you need an anchor. You need a lineup anchor, right? And we just don't have that. I mean, even look at like the White Sox, another team that I think the Mariners should almost kind of like aspire to follow the path of, emulate. Yeah. They went out and they signed Yasmani Grandal. They went out and they got, good veteran guys. They even got like a Lance Lynn type to be in the starting rotation, to be a super solid guy there. And they kind of are like letting their young guys develop around a few veterans. Like really what we're looking at right here is that our clubhouse leaders are Kyle Seager, Tom Murphy, who he doesn't have a lot of major league experience, but he's like an older guy, right?
Yeah, I mean he's like 30, which is older for the club, but dude's literally
Kyle Seager, Tom Murphy. Yeah, Kyle Seager and Tom Murphy, like just of the guys that are like the older guys in the clubhouse. Like, I'm not saying like they're bad or whatever, but like we need. We need an anchor. They're not an anchor, right? They're not like Tom Murphy is hitting 175. Kyle Seager is hitting, 220. Like they're just not the lineup anchors that we need.
I mean, I didn't think about it at the time, but like maybe the Mariners should have like, and this people are gonna hear this and kind of gonna sound like a fucking joke, but maybe the Mariners should have just picked up like Pujols. Well, they could have, and just like let him fucking play first base with Evan White injured, right?
Yeah, so, I mean it's a little crazy.
In the fucking clubhouse.
It's a little crazy, but it's at least, like, interesting, right? Because, again, I think it is, like, even if he's only going to hit, it doesn't really matter. Like, the thing is like, Kyle Seager and Tom Murphy, like, they're still working on themselves. Like,
exactly.
Pujols doesn't give a shit if he, like, Pujols is going to be the same guy if he hits, if he hits 280 or if he hits 220, he's going to be the exact same guy. Or even if he hits 170, he's going to be the same guy, right? I think these young guys, I think they really just need someone to like,
stab them.
Yeah, basically that's it, right? Because they've been on the road since they were like young kids. They, whether it be travel teams, whether it be now in the minor leagues, all that kind of stuff, like, or even college. Like, I think that they need some sort of like real veteran presence, like someone who's done it before too, right? Like even think about going back to.
Put a World Series winner on that fucking team.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like going back to like Eric Hosmer. Like Eric Hosmer's done it before. He went through. He was the young guy going through a developing organization that finally put it all together, right? So he knows what it's supposed to look like.
those veterans, like, who was there, he knows, he's be like, dude, I need to be like Lorenzo Cain and fucking put this fucking team together, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he knows what it's supposed to look like. The problem right now is even the Mariners, even if you look at an organizational level, like, how many World Series does Jerry Dipoto have? How many World Series does Scott Service have? Like, we don't have any people in this organization that knows what it's supposed to look like. Even like from like, I love Edgar and I love Dan Wilson and I love all the old veterans. Like, they've never got it done. You know, they've been on good teams, but no one knows what it looks like, what a World Series winning team is supposed to look like. And to me, that's just the tiny bit of difference that we need.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't know.
That makes a lot of sense.
What were we talking about? Mitch Hanigar. This is how it kind of all started.
Should they trade Mitch Hanigar and this devolved?
I would say, personally, I would say no, but only because I don't think you trade your best player.
No, yeah. It's kind of like trading Christian Yelich right now. Like, maybe he's slumping, but you're not trading him.
Yeah, like, maybe, I don't know if it's technically good for you in the sense that, like, you're going to have to trade him next year anyways, and you need to get the haul right for him. Like, it's going to be... Because here's the thing. If they do end up trading him at the deadline next year, it's going to be a lot worse for us. It's going to be like, damn, why didn't we just do it a year ago when we could have got better prospects, right?
Yes, 100%.
But I think what that kind of... That opinion is very much relying on hindsight being 2020 and everything like that, right? Is that they're kind of ignoring the fact that if we did trade him a year ago, like they're going to be saying, like, we would have literally been trading our best player. And I think it's very possible that when you trade Mitch Hanigar next year, he's not your best player, right? It's very possible that Jared Kelenick's your best player. It's very possible that Kyle Lewis is your best player. It's very possible that J.P. Crawford is your best player, right?
Maybe even like Taylor Trammel just has a crazy fucking season next year.
Yeah, right? But right now, Mitch Hanigar is your best player, and I don't think...
Hi, France, maybe.
Like, what does that say... Ooh, that was kind of a scary collision. What does it say to your ball club when you trade away your best player?
Yeah, like...
What does that say?
What if who cares if you're successful here? Like... We're not winning here, so don't even try.
Yeah, I just think it doesn't send. I just think it doesn't send the right message.
Yeah, I agree.
To the clubhouse.
You should be rewarded. That's the kind of guy you should extend, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, and what's even really the downside? So let's say you give Mitch Hanigar, you extend him, and you give him like what? Like, what do you think a good contract for Mitch is? Maybe like 4 years, $15 million a year. That's a good fucking contract for the Mariners and for Mitch, right?
I guess, yeah. I don't know. I'm really bad when it comes to the numbers of contracts. I'm not the guy for that.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, obviously, we don't, like, know exactly what goes into it and everything, right? Like, we're not fucking contract analysts or for professional baseball or anything, right? But, I mean, like, if the
how much is
going to go out into free agency...
Evan's getting, like, oh, dang, that was scary. You see that Jake Fraley's... Oh, terrible base running. Did you see Jake Fraley's bat just shatter?
It did, yeah.
That went right at the pitcher, too. That was scary. Freaking Jack Mayfield doesn't know how to stay on second base.
Matrix hardcore.
What a double play.
Hey, actually, by the way, I just saw The Matrix for the first time, like, last week.
Oh, really? What'd you think?
It's pretty good. It was alright.
Yeah, the first one's good.
Dude, I'll be honest. I don't know how, but in 25 years of my life, I never got The Matrix spoiled for me. So when he, like, busted out of The Matrix, both me and Mandy were like, what the fuck? What just happened?
I'll say, here's...
Like, blew our fucking brains.
Here's the thing about The Matrix, that even if it's, like... I think it still looks good, like, it holds up. Maybe looks, like, a little bit dated. But literally, The Matrix changed action films. Like, every action film that came after... like the year 2000.
Was inspired by The Matrix.
Yeah, like The Matrix just changed. It's one of those movies that you have to like respect The Matrix because it literally changed cinema. It's one of those rare films that it's like this movie changed cinema forever. So it's Well,
I mean, it's also
cool.
just
You guys are getting deep. You guys are getting deep into the catalog. I like it.
Yeah,
we're budgeting cinephiles over there.
What else do we got to do, man? We like movies. I actually kind of had to convince Mandy. I was like, we should watch The Matrix. Like, we've never seen it, and people love this movie. Like, love it or hate it, people say you should watch it, right?
I have to do that with Gabby too a lot, actually. It's just like I just like put the movie on and be like, "This is what we're watching." Like I put on. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I literally just put on Escape from New York, and I was like, "We're watching Escape from New York." Like
that's funny.
Whether I don't know if you're gonna like it or not, but by the end, you're gonna.
You'll have seen it.
You're gonna know who Snake Plissken is, and that's all that matters. There's so many movies out on streaming services. Like we subscribe to so many streaming services too, whether it be HBO, Netflix, Hulu, Disney. Like we just need to start watching some of the good freaking movies that are on these streaming services. Like honestly, like the catalogs are pretty good. We live in the best time for like watching cinema.
Dude, I know you like have an adult job. But I'm actually surprised. Like, you watch a lot of movies. I'm surprised you don't just like work like a day or like one weekend day down at the theater a week to get free movies and shit. It's like really fun. You get to talk.
Do they really hire people for like 8 hours a week?
Yeah. I mean, so like we'll hire people and then like they'll be like, yeah, I can only work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and so we'll just only schedule them like one day a week, and they'll be like they'll work one shift a week, and then they'll just get their like free passes basically.
Oh, I didn't know that people did that.
Yeah, we call those people due to like work for passes. We don't really have like a good name for them. Oh, dude, I need.
Yeah, I already work 50 hours a week, so.
I get it. But I mean, like you were in college. I could have seen you doing that in college.
I probably should have. I actually think my like retirement dream is I want to like own like a small theater, like a 6-screen theater.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think that'd be a dope like retirement.
Cool. You buy it, I'll manage it. Dude.
That's what I was thinking too. Is I've talked to this with Gabby in the past. I'd be like, the thing is I don't know anything about the industry, but I was like, I do know someone who does know about the industry.
Yeah.
And it'd be like cool. Like you could have like three screens, like 3 or 4 screens to show, like the big movies, right? To like get people in the theaters for like the Avengers, the Marvels, the whatever, right? Do that on like 4 screens, and then like 2 screens to show like crazy little indie movies or like old movies or something like that.
So believe it or not, those are the only 2 kind of categories that sell. Like if you promote it right, those like bring back movies and like indie movies and shit like that sell actually way better than like.
Yeah, well, I actually think you need to come down to El Paso sometime, probably when more COVID stuff is done, because there's a theater, like I don't know if you ever heard of Alamo Draft House. It's like a theater. So. It's like a theater chain that's like more East Coast and in the South. But like part of their big thing is that the first big thing they do is that they have each theater that you sit at has like a table, and they basically have like a full menu where they serve you during the movie, and they literally have waiters that come in and like take your orders and serve you and bring you drinks during the movie and stuff like that. But like the second thing that they do is they do a lot of like curated showings where they have like theme nights, and like every like Wednesday they have kind of like an indie film kind of day, and like they do a lot of like they show a lot of old movies. Like usually about half their screens are dedicated to showing like old movies or indie movies and stuff like that. So it's kind of like it's more like a curated type experience is more what they have going on for themselves, even though they do the big releases, right? Like the top 4.
Yeah, they do the Marvel movies and shit.
Yeah, they do the top 4 releases and everything. So they I think our theater is it's 8 screens.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's kind of like it's kind of like a smaller, it's not technically like a independent movie theater, but it has like the independent movie theater kind of like feel in that. It's like it doesn't, it's cool. Not like, how many screens do you guys have? It's not like a 20 screen theater, right? It's like,
so we have the largest building in our district. We have 17 screens.
Yeah.
And that's just like unheard of. Like the like not even like Seattle. Seattle only has 16. Like 17 is like a fuck ton.
Yeah, but you guys are like comfortably, but a lot of like the AMCs or the Regals or whatever, they're like comfortable. I feel like aren't they like comfortably in like the double digits, like 12, 13, 14?
Not all of them. Actually, they have a lot of, around here, I don't know about other places, but we do a lot of like 6s and 8s. And like
that's what I'm thinking.
I
like
think the average is like 12 though.
Okay, because I'm thinking like the Cinemarks, because so like in El Paso they mostly have Cinemarks and AMC. They don't have Regal, and they're around like 15 screen theaters.
It's weird that they don't have Regal though, because so Regal started in Tennessee, and that's a southern state. So you'd think there'd be a bunch of Regals in the south.
Oh no, yeah, we have Cinemark, and Yeah, Cinemark and AMC, and they just opened up a second Alamo Drafthouse theater, like deep on the east side.
You don't normally see multiple of one chain in one city. Like
there's only one AMC, but there's like 4 or 5 Cinemarks.
Really?
Yeah.
Weird.
Do you have a Mariners MVP? I don't even think I got yours.
No.
You just want to hop on the Yusei train?
Sure. Yeah. I don't know.
Just take Yusei.
I don't know. This week's been really like this Mariners week for me has been so like, like yeah, they've won a lot.
They've been so good though. They won a bunch of games. I thought we were going to be a much more positive. I thought this podcast was going to be much more positive, but it was kind of just chill. It was kind of just a chill podcast. All right, that's all I have for the Mariners. Do you have anything else?
No.
Okay. Dude, we'll call it here then. Go M's, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, go M's.
There's a drive deep right field. Say goodbye. Hey, Lloyd, do some delivery for the truck to the airport.